introduce yourselves. Good evening, my name is Joanna. I'm still elected councillor for Collieswood Ward. Good evening.
Good evening, my name is Councillor Ryan Rodriguez, one of the councillors for Clarks Hill Ward.
My name is Jan Comer. I'm a new councillor and I'm a councillor for Village Ward.
Good evening, I'm Sonia Phillips and councillor for Longbourn Ward.
And with the people in mind, can you introduce yourselves, please?
Hello, I'm Rob Mitchell. I'm councillor for Cannon Hill Ward, newly elected.
Thank you, please. Thank you, please go ahead for the rest of you.
Nick, do you want to go?
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Nick Angley. I work for Merton Council. I work in Dean's team, doing policy work. Nice to meet you all.
And Chris.
Hi everyone, my name's Chris Hopkinson. I'm a programme officer in the Family First Partnership Programme team in Merton Council.
Paul. I see you, Paul.
Hi, Dean.
Do you want to introduce yourself, Paul?
Yes, my name is Paul Picard. I'm the branch chair of the Royal British Legion in Mitcham. Been invited by Joan Henry.
We've got Chowdhury Nawaz.
No, got parrots.
Sorry, no, we've got Chowdhury Nawaz next.
Oh, right. I'll put myself on mute.
Yes, I'm Chaudhry Nawaz. I'm from Ahmadiyya Muslim community, Batafatur the Mosque.
Welcome, Julia Lohendran. You're on mute, sir. Just on the mute button. On the mute button.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm Logie Lohendran from BME Forum and Merton Health Watch.
Welcome. And we have Amy.
Amy Dimitrescu, Head of Democracy Services.
And then I'm helping this evening. I'm Dean Tyler from the policy team upstairs, supporting Councillor Henry this evening. Nice to see you all.
Right, thank you all. And I must assure you that this meeting has been live streamed, so we just be professionals and treat everyone with respect. Okay, thank you. And before we go any further in the meeting, I just wanted the people in the room to actually expect no fire drill tonight, but if you do hear a fire alarm, please proceed with the procedures as we have been taught. Thank you. So we're going to start with item 1, welcome and apologies. Are there any apologies?
I received apologies from Councillor Stringer, Councillor Bakari, Councillor Mitchell, I believe, is attending in absence. Oh, sorry, I didn't press
That's correct, yeah.
Thanks, Council.
The minutes of the last meeting were sent out, which was on the minutes of the last meeting was sent out. Has everyone read it? Are there any issues or concern or anything in the meeting that we need to share? No? So can we say that minutes is agreed and we can sign it off as agreed? Thank you. We're going to move on to item 3, which is Families First Partnership Program. And we have the presenter is Margaret Kayumbe. I hope I pronounced the name correctly, and I do apologize. And Chris Hopkins from Merton Council. Will you please proceed with your presentation, please?
Hi, thank you. Unfortunately, Margaret couldn't come this evening, so it's just myself presenting. I'll just share my screen now. Can everyone see that okay? Let me just get into...
Yeah, that's good, Chris. Just put it on slideshow.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get onto the slideshow. Brilliant. Can everyone see that okay?
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. So, hi, my name's Chris. As mentioned, I'm a programme officer in the Family First Partnership Programme team. We're a team that sit within Merton Children's Services and are tasked with the delivery and implementation of the Family First Partnership Programme, which is a set of national reforms coming into different councils to rebalance the children's social care system, looking more at targeted early help support and working alongside families in a seamless package of support, which I'll go into in a minute. I'm new to the role, having just started this week. By background, I'm a social worker, so I was previously working in Merton as a consultant social worker in the children in care team. Thank you for having me today to present an overview of the Family First Partnership Programme and kind of the role of community groups within that. So just a quick overview of the programme. So firstly, there's the creation of seamless family help offer, which is bringing together different services to create one family help service. So what used to be targeted early help, or what is now targeted early help assessment and safeguarding services within children's social care will come together to make one family help service made up of family help lead practitioners and co-located multi-agency professionals to support families throughout that process. And part of the thinking behind that is to reduce the number of touch points and transition points such that families have one consistent worker supporting them throughout any children's social care involvement. And then within that, when there are child protection concerns, there'll be an establishment of specialist multi-agency child protection teams, bringing together key professionals from police, health, education and children's social care to undertake all of our child protection activities, so child protection inquiries, investigations and child protection conferences and key strategy meetings. And those teams will work alongside the family help teams. So where a family is open to family help and there's a family help lead practitioner, and that multi-agency child protection team will work alongside them as a centre for excellence around child protection decision making. And then the key kind of piece of practice I want to talk about today, underpinning the reforms, is really recognising how relatives, friends, communities and faith groups can support families, and really trying to focus our work on letting families lead their own decision making and bringing in family group decision making as a new model of practice of how, rather than professionals making decisions about what should happen with the family, that decision making being led by the family and tapping into wider family networks, relatives, neighbours, aunties, uncles, community groups, those already known to the family, the people that the family trust, rather than having small statutory services involved that can be alienating for family or can create stigma, trying to work with that family's existing network within the community. And as part of that, there's also family network support packages that are one-off payments to families to provide targeted piece of intervention such that families can stay together and to support families when there's emerging needs for children or safeguarding needs for children, when through that family group decision making process there's been needs identified that can be supported through a family network support package. And then on a kind of wider system level, there'll be strengthening multi-agency safeguarding arrangements between key partners, including new frameworks for information sharing when children and families come to attention of different safeguarding partners, and system-wide data integrated working between different partners, shared practices and thresholds, shared ways of working for those multi-agency child protection teams, and closer work with education settings. The reforms really place a key focus on education being that full safeguarding partner as outlined in the Working Together to Safeguard Children guidance. And then just having to think about our delivery timelines and where we are at the moment. So over 20 2025 to 2026 was the setup and co-design, so planning the delivery, looking at our needs assessments and recruitment into key roles in our participant and engagement activity with our key safeguarding partners. We're now into year 2, which is our phase implementation, including our test and trial periods, working with different local safeguarding partners, different community groups to think about how we can embed these new practices, revising our front door, and then beginning the implementation of that family help model and our multi-agency child protection teams, embedding family group decision making as a real key component of our practice, and reconfiguring the existing teams and services around that model. And then the target that's set out very clearly by the Department for Education is for the new services and ways of working to be up and running by March 2027. So then the next year, 27 to 28, we'll look at the full embedment of that programme principles into our core business as usual practices and modifying our practices as we see that full implementation go live. Alongside that, there's several other key pieces of transformation work happening that also interact with Family First Partnership. So there's the child poverty strategy development, our Best Start family hubs and Best Start in Life for early years, the integrated neighbourhood teams model of different partners working together in neighbourhoods, and the special educational needs and reform plans. So just think about the difference that these reforms aim to make for families. The golden thread amongst all of this work is recognising and respecting that most families have the solutions to their problems, and really respecting that local knowledge and knowledge within families of how we can see the solutions through that family network and through the family group, and holding the strength of that family network in mind at every touch point, every point of referral, every point of transition, thinking about what's existing within that family network and which strengths can be drawn out, and recognising families as part of the solution from the start, supporting existing mechanisms of support is shown to be better, and research shows last longer and can prevent children's services involvement escalating. And that practitioners know more about services and help families better without different handover points. So trying to support our families have the same consistent worker throughout involvement, and that's part of our family help model and the family help lead practitioners. Understanding what worked within families already, what's worked before, who have they gone to when they've, say, had a problem or an issue before, and building our support offer around this, rather than taking a position of trying to give the knowledge, trying to work with the knowledge already existing within that family, and rebalancing our support to really bolstering what the family are already doing from the beginning, rather than support coming later from outside agencies as much, really reliant on what's within that family and the knowledge within the family. Really valuing relationships within families and the importance of trusted relationships with community groups, with different organisations, and not breaking these through internal processes. Prioritising relationship-based practice, so thinking about how we can know these families and build on our relationship-based practice model, giving non-judgmental support and support that doesn't feel stigmatizing, so that children, young people and their families feel held and respected throughout the process. Our first contacts are meaningful, impactful, offer holistic support by coming together with different agencies with those multi-agencies safeguarding arrangements, and giving the right support to the right person at the right time, and reducing stigma of children's services involvement. Trying to flick. So now just coming on to how we see community organisations as key partners within the reforms. So really thinking about how, by partnering with community organisations, that you may observe important changes in children's behaviour, attendance and emotional well-being. Really, children's services trying to partner with the organisations that know children best, that might have known this family for a long time, valuing that you often have trusted relationships with family networks, valuing that trust and thinking about how community groups may be best placed to learn more about the family networks rather than a social worker or a new person in the family coming in and asking lots of questions, trying to value that knowledge that already exists within the community. And part of that's also the insight into children's lived experiences. So community leads may provide valuable insights on children's daily experiences, their strengths and needs, which is vital to future planning, kind of knowing that family and that child and being able to share that information rather than kind of us coming from a point of not knowing, kind of embedding that local knowledge and that being part of our working model. And then helping support realistic family plans. So participation of community groups in those family group decision makings, helping that family make a plan that works for them, that can rely on other family members in community groups and settings, and making sure those family plans are practical and support the education and well-being of that child or young person. So here's just a brief case study of where some work with a community group really made a real clear difference to a child's outcomes. So A is a young child of Somali heritage. A was likely to have neurodivergent needs, but these were currently undiagnosed at this point in involvement. Whilst A and A's family had been engaged with children's social care for several years, the local authority had been unable to support A's family in feeling willing to engage with services and being able to make changes that we felt A needed to support his well-being and safeguarding. Having exhausted the support and assistance of several related agencies, a decision was made to move into a legal planning process, which both don't know that would be the beginning of a care proceedings process and that child potentially being moved outside of the family home. However, at this point, contact was made with a voluntary sector group, someone who looked like, spoke like, and understood the cultural context of A and A's family, brokered discussions in a way that supported A's family to reconsider their positions regarding A's education, health and care needs and help broker those conversations such that there could be that engagement with services and with support and that family and the local authority could see eye to eye and work together and leading to not needing to follow that legal planning process, and more headway was made in that 30-minute discussion with a community leader there and with his representative of the voluntary group that had made during extensive contact from the local authority and probably months of work from social services. So I think that's a really clear example of how by using local knowledge and community groups, that family was supported to stay together and children's services involvement didn't need to escalate. And just looking at that, I always think, imagine if that conversation had happened right at the start of social care involvement rather than what would have been probably several months into involvement. So then just thinking a bit more about how community groups can influence our family group decision-making approaches and how we embed family group decision-making as part of our everyday practice. So supporting family networks, helping families identify key people in the child's life and encourage them to build that network within the people they already know and bringing the people they know to family group decision-making meetings. Supporting active participation in meetings, voluntary groups and community groups coming to family group decision-making meetings and helping support that family to think about the support they have available to them, and suggest early family meetings when concerns or stress arise in families and you're noticing concerns for a child or young person, building that trust engagement using existing community links and family networks, reassuring families and helping reducing some of that stigma, having a trusted person in the room to help those meetings focus on support, promoting trust and active participation, attending meetings to share perspectives and support agreed actions in school or agreed actions within the community, and just asking really simple questions like who matters to this child, help create a supportive and engaged environment for that child. And then thinking about where the support sits. What we know is we always put that child in the centre of our thinking. Next comes that family and friends and really helping us to understand who that extended family and friends are, the aunties and uncles, the neighbours, the family friends, the people that we might not know of otherwise, and then thinking about faith and community groups within that second layer of support around the child, thinking about alongside universal services, the support that voluntary community faith and social enterprise sector can give to families before concerns escalate, and specialist and targeted support, and then beyond that, the specialist and targeted support given by family help teams and multi-agency child protection teams. And just kind of next steps after this meeting, thinking about your role and contribution as community groups, and do have a look at the Families First Partnership Programme Guide. That's a Department of Education document that sets out the key aims of the Family First Partnership Programme and their plan to roll out the programme over the next 12 months, or 9 months now, between now and March next year. Do have a look at the Best Start Family Hubs on the Merton Council website, which gives a lot of information about help and support offers within the community that families can be signposted to, and you can support families to access. And for any queries about the Family First Partnership Programme, do contact my team on the email address there. We are at the moment kind of planning or formulating some consultation groups with different organisations within the voluntary community faith and social enterprise sector. So please do contact us if you feel your community group would want to come to one of those and be part of that consultation and test and trial period. And that's everything. Does anyone have any questions? I can't see the screen. Oh.
Okay, thank you. You're saying questions. Thank you. Very lengthy presentation, and but I think there's some important topics in it. So let me put over to our groups to see whether or not they have any questions. For councillors in the group, do you have any questions?
Well, I was going to say thank you for your presentation. The FFP is a very comprehensive multi-agency service, and I just wondered what specific metrics you might use to look at success. You know, what does success look like? And that will help to determine our role and contribution in supporting the programme.
Yeah, so there's a wide-ranging set of metrics that we're reporting on quarterly in terms of supporting the different elements of FFPP. So information around the recruitment of the multi-agency child protection teams, around the establishment of the family help service in terms of different multi-agency safeguarding arrangements, our data on how often we're offering those family group decision making meetings and when those family group decision making meetings take place, and showing that all of our child protection activity is happening through the multi-agency child protection teams. But in terms of, I think the important thing about today is really that data around family group decision making meetings. So we've kind of set up mechanisms to record on our case management systems when family group decision making meetings are offered, who attends them, and when there's then a agreed family plan and a family network support package to help with that. So I think helping us understand who's in a family network so that we can hold those meetings and bring our partner agencies on board as part of that process.
Thank you. Any more questions? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chris, for the presentation. Just going through the government document as well, it talks about funding and ring-fence funding. Just wondering if you could speak a little bit to how in our local authority, how that's been allocated and how that's been used.
So yeah, at the moment there's ring-fence Department of Education funding to support the Family First Partnership Programme model, and that's being used to help us kind of recruit and set up those specialist roles within the model. Things like establishing, my team at the moment to deliver the Family First Partnership program team. And then in the long term, the plan is that, as you know, the key aim of the Family First Partnership Programme is that less children will be coming into care, and there'll be savings in terms of, you know, the numbers of children coming into care coming down, so such that then there can be kind of a self-sustaining system where then those resources can be reallocated to our targeted early help and to support the Family First Partnership Programme model.
Thank you.
More questions?
Yes, please. Just to help me think about this in my own board, how do inquiries come through? How do people spot struggling parents? How do they spot struggling children? Who is it who does that? And what's the sort of train of people who bring that to the appropriate authorities?
So I couldn't quite hear the last part of your question.
What's the chain of people who bring it to the authorities that these people need help?
Which you saying, who refer these people to, you know, your services?
Yeah, so in terms of referrals into the Child and Family Hub and our front door, the kind of biggest group that refer into other schools, and then also health and the police, but then kind of community groups, neighbours, members of the public, probation, health services also make up a large number of our referrals.
Is it Sean? Is it a councillor name? Is it Sean? Your hands up.
This is Sean.
Yeah.
Evening, everyone.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I was recently part of an IAG, and this violence against women and girls has gone up. Is this reflected in the council data?
I don't know the answer to that question, I'm afraid, in terms of if increases in violence against women and girls have been captured in council data. I can pass that on to colleagues and get back to you.
Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted.
Thank you. Sir Beatrice? Can you hear me, Sir Beatrice?
Are you asking me, Savitri?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. Good evening, everyone. I was late. I missed the beginning. I just wanted to know, is this only the child's protection or the safeguarding policy, including the vulnerable adults and everything?
So the Family First Partnership model is kind of aimed at children's services and the support we give to children and families, rather than vulnerable adults. So my team sits within children's services.
Okay. So how to refer to you?
So that's through the Child and Family Hub. So anyone can make a referral to children's services on the Merton Council website.
Okay. Will you send us this slide?
Yeah. These slides have been shared.
Thank you so much.
I think, Dean, would you share these slides with everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paul, you have a question?
Yes, just a quick question. I've been listening with intent. You mentioned about family groups and with children involved. What happens if that family has a veteran or someone out of the armed forces? Where would you send them then?
How do you mean, sorry?
Well, you mentioned if supporting family groups and children, there may be a veteran from the armed forces there that's sworn on hard times to support that child. Where would you go with that?
Yeah, so we'd want that veteran to be part of that family group decision-making meeting, and if they were part of that child's life or that child's parent or carer, then we'd see them as a valued part of that child support network.
What I'm trying to say is, would you involve the Royal British Legion in that part for the veteran side, that maybe they can help the child as well?
Yeah, I think that could be a really good idea to look at veteran-specific charities that could support a child where a parent or carer might be a veteran or a family member might be a veteran.
Okay,
Definitely, I think it's thinking not only about services a child can access, but the services the whole family can access. So I think linking with charity sector organisations such as the Royal British Legion would be really good in that context.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you. And I have a question. As we all know that, I mean, at times there are projects that started and supporting families very well. And as soon as the funding is finished, I mean, there's no more support. And a lot of parents, you know, who I spoke to and have conversation with, they always say, okay, you build me up and you fall me down. Because when money is finished, the funding is finished, nobody knows us. So how are you going to ensure that you have funding to continue this project that we're putting forward now? Because I like it, it has substances in it, but we want to know how it's going to be continuously funded.
So as in, are you asking about funding of the reforms overall, or is in like kind of support for an individual family once say they've closed the statutory services? Or are we kind of asking about both?
Yes, support and for workers, because sometimes you may have to do out of work hours. I mean, staff have to be paid if they have to work out of hours. And where you're going to get the funding from to, support and to pay staff to carry out those work that they have to be doing.
So a lot of the work is, using existing staff. So it's, working with social workers and other alternatively qualified staff within children's services to change their way to working and embed these new practices. So when thinking about that family help service, that will be made up of existing services. So our family assessment intervention service, our early help service, and our family support and safeguarding services. So a lot of it is existing services, but changing the ways they work and the ways those services are made up. And then I say on the point around when individual families, when our involvement kind of ends with them from a statutory point of view, I think the whole thinking behind the family group decision making is it's a plan that family can access using their existing support rather than external support coming in. So trying to build and value that existing support within their network and the community, rather than external services that might open and close, or say a social worker that might be working with them for a limited period of time, but really trying to build on the existing support within the community.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? No? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks very much. And do contact our inbox if you have any further questions. Thank you. And goodbye.
Okay. Bye.
So we're going to go on to JCC members update. And okay, so we're going to introduce a slide to show you, about the JCC members and update.
Thank you, Councillor. So, Councillor Henry's just asked me to very briefly introduce this item. The material that I'm about to present was circulated with the agenda. It's on the screen. There are hard copies in the room. I'm not going to do a presentation where I read all of the words on the slide, because I find that those watching that will have already read the words on the slide by the time I finish them. But the purpose of this meeting, this item on the agenda this evening, is to take the opportunity to work with new councillors and get your reflections and views about what we might be able to do to reinvigorate the Joint Consultative Committee. It's a really important element of the work that we do as a local authority with our communities. And in recent times, the numbers of those attending, as we can see this evening, we're really grateful to the external organisations that have joined us online this evening. But some of those, including Reverend Neil, for example, will probably remember a time where we did have more representation. And I will thank Hannah for her earlier input into this item. Hopefully she'll be able to see some of the ideas that she's previously presented reflected in the presentation this evening. But in short, this discussion item is looking for thoughts and ideas about how we can make this meeting more relevant, not just to yourselves as councillors, but to those external representatives of our community. I think I've just said this. This is taking the opportunity to get some fresh perspectives from some existing councillors, but also from those new councillors as well. I've included this just as a reference slide. This is what it currently says as our terms of reference. We're not in the Constitution, but council agrees at annual council every year the terms of reference for consultative bodies. This is one. In summary, I think the key things for me in those terms of reference about the extent to which we're able to use the engagement routes that we have through this group. There are many others, but how can we ensure that the policies that we're developing to support all elements of our community are best informed? And we've got a group like this that can formally enable, as well as all of the informal mechanisms and the contacts that you have every day in your wards. But this is more of a formal mechanism. So how can we best use this to help inform our policy? Also, I invited Nick from my team. He's recently joined the council, introduced himself at the start, but Nick's been doing some work to look at our external requirements under the Politics Human Rights Commission and our politics strategy, and just ensuring that where we're using those sort of statutory requirements, they're relevant to Merton. I think it's just helped us with an overhaul of some of that. I think there's only a couple more slides from me. I've got a fuller list actually. I managed to find a full list of organisations represented. And this is a list of some of those groups that we've involved to date. Clearly, that's a list that can be added to based on your views and ideas and suggestions. And something Councillor Henry's often reflected to me, and previously Councillor Saida, who chaired this group, was the extent to which we could proactively meet with people like myself, can meet with the representatives of those groups individually and just talk to them about what's relevant to them, what would make them come. And that's part of my job, to get out there and talk with people. So I think we've got some discussion points and a next step slide. But some of the ideas, suggestions to discuss and take forward are on the screen there. It's not an exhaustive list, but it's just intended as some thoughts that between ourselves, with input, as I say, from colleagues previously, might just get us thinking about what else could we do to make this group relevant, meaningful, impactful, and encourage attendance. So probably pause there, Councillor, and hand over to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chair. Thank you.
And what you're saying is very relevant. I remember when I became a councillor 10 years ago, we used to have a full room of members. And unfortunately, some have passed away. For example, I just read out something that Councillor Edith Macaulay sent us. Mr. Sheikh Udair Sheikh, MBE, was a chair, vice chair, when Councillor Edith Macaulay was a chair. And unfortunately, he passed away a few months ago. And, sadly, so those are some of the people we're missing. So definitely, we need to get more people on this board because it's for everyone, and not only for adults. We need young people also, 18 years of age up, who are, starting their own business, want to get them involved in whatever conversation they have, because whatever we do, we need to include young people into it. And I just want to ask one of our very vibrant person to give a little talk, because something that very important in our community, and we may not know that these things are happening. And I'm going to ask Paul. Paul, will you please tell us a little bit about the RB Hub? Because now we all involved in doing a very strong community work. But as the chair, will you be kind enough to just tell us a little bit more about what you're doing and how this JCC will be a value and asset to what you're doing, and how we can be an asset to your program also.
Well, thank you, Joan. Thank you, Councillor. Well, basically, I represent the Royal British Legion, and over the years, we've built a hub that is predominantly a coffee hub for veterans and beneficiaries. We open twice a week. We have community people walk past and come in for a coffee and wonder what is going on there. We invite them in, have a chat, a coffee. Basically, what I'm trying to do with that the Legion building in Mitcham is open it up to the wider community, not just veterans, not just beneficiaries, but people who just want to come in for a coffee, and make friends and have a chat. Maybe they're lonely or something like that, or they just want to make friends. That's what the Legion is all about. It's not just about armed forces and all that. The Legion now actually recognise that they want to open all their buildings up to the bigger, wider community, and this is where Merton can play a big part. It's we're there, we're open, and if you can support us moving forward, we can do a lot more. So and that's all I can say, Joan. To be honest, it's it's a work in progress. We've basically decorated it ourselves by volunteer help. We've built a lovely garden. They can go and sit in the garden, do a bit of gardening if they want. Whatever. To be honest, it's just a nice community hub. I mean, Dean's been there a few times. He's had a lovely cup of tea.
Very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Everybody's welcome. You're all welcome down. So yeah, come and enjoy. Come and see what we've done and see what we're all about. Yes, we have an open day on July the 18th, and you'll see exactly what we're doing and where we're going with the Legion. So
thank you. And we have Sean. Sean, I don't know if I met you before or what you do, but can you just tell us a little bit about what you do and how you can encourage new members for JCC?
Is that a question directed at me?
Yes.
Oh, well, there's not many people that know about it publicly, so I don't know if you can put it on the website or create a social media page around it on one of the universal platforms. And when you have your events as well, promote it. Maybe have one of those pull-up banners. You have community events. Say we've got Windrush Day coming up, isn't it? Community fair. You can have like a stand there, because a lot of subsidiaries and Merton organisations and businesses, they go there to do a meet and greet. So every time there's an event or a public meeting, they said, "Oh, this is our organisation. This is what I do. Do you want to join?"
Mm-hmm. And what organisation are you from, Sean?
Well, I'm down as Split the Difference, but that organisation closed last year, so I've set up a community interest company called Equal Start.
We Can Start. Okay.
Equal Start.
Okay. You have that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you. And in your organization, do you have young people that you could, because we want more people. We just don't want, I mean, in here you can see we're all adults. We want to see more young people, getting involved. So how you, think you'll be able to get some young people involved in the JCC and bring them along so that I mean, say for instance, you cannot make it to come, they will be able to, you know, come along and talk about, you know, things that they're doing.
I can always broach it to them. Getting people to come to meetings online, it shouldn't be difficult, but in theory, but it is practically. So I'll try a lot around. There's a few community interest companies that deal with young people within there, like Unique Talent. There's another community kind of youth centre in High Park Estate. I forget what they're called now, but they have a lot of young people there. And then Pollard's Hill, there's a community centre there, and they get supported funds. So I'm sure a couple of the members went in there and actually spoke to them face to face. You'd be able to build an actual relationship with them, and then they might have a extra reason why to come in. Because if you just do it hands off, maybe a leaflet and flyer to young people, they might not think, oh, it's just another, you know, spam email or spam post and pamphlets, ones that you walk past people in the street, fold up, put in your pocket, and maybe throw away later.
Yeah, I get that. And what I think you're saying that we need to advertise the JCC more. Is that right?
Yeah, of course. Because then otherwise they will think it's a place only for certain people. If you want more members, you have to go out publicly. But I don't know how the policy or the philosophy with the group. It means that I'm guessing you want to vetted people and trusted people to come in. Because how I got into the group is that I actually complained a lot to local authority. I said, oh, why don't you join this community? Even though I've been in Merton for years. And it's only just after lockdown that I was encouraged. I said, yeah, come along and join the group. Before I was knocking on the door for many years, and they said, oh, you have to have an organization or be part of an organization. So there's these kind of barriers. People think, oh, why should I bother? Because I'm not getting anything tangible out of it personally. So I just won't bother. It's only certain people that are determined or really interested in what's going on that will maybe overlook those kind of slides.
Thank you. And we have a new councillor, Robert. Is Robert? Yeah. Robert, as a new councillor, this is the first time to this meeting. And as you may hear and listen to what we're saying, this meeting wants to be more vibrant. We need to hear about what, you know, people are doing in the community. It's a GCC, which is, you know, it's an open meeting, not only to, it's a minority meeting to everyone, okay? So how do you think you may be able to introduce people so they can come and share what they're doing in the community? And of course, we need new members.
Yeah, thank you. I think, you know, I mean, I've been sort of thrown into the deep end here because Hina unfortunately couldn't be able to make it. But I mean, we had a brief discussion yesterday just to sort of discuss some of our views on where we think the group could go and what we could do. And I think, from our perspective, I think we need a clear sort of mission statement as to what we want to achieve with the various communities that we have. We sort of discussed and we thought what we're trying to achieve is a little bit vague, but whether that's, you know, community engagement, how we want communities to engage with the council and the various services we have, I think it'd be good to have sort of a perspective on how that feeds in. So we obviously had a presentation from Christopher, which was obviously very interesting, but I think for people attending, it's kind of like, well, how do we feed into that? How could that be a more effective use of time? Because we've got all of these people on the call, and maybe, you know, the dwindling attendance that we've had is because there's no clear lens in which we're trying to review these presentations and these talks. So it might be interesting to kind of go away and come back with sort of here's our kind of 3 bullets of what we want to really achieve from the end of these meetings. And from maybe the presentations we get from various officers from the council. The other thing, and I'm really glad, I'm sorry I forgot your name, but you called Mitcham Chair on my on my screen, is actually maybe, you know, taking these meetings outside of the council and running them in many of the different community groups that we have. So it might be interesting, you know, taking ourselves out and actually, you know, breaking down the barriers of this kind of elusive council that we have, and bring these meetings into the communities or into the schools to actually make it more collaborative. So, you know, if we rotated it into different areas across Merton, it might be, you know, next meeting we're in Mitcham in one of the community centres, we can invite those different community groups there, and hopefully, because it's not awkwardly in Morden's office or, you know, on Zoom, we can get a more kind of organic feel for what those communities and what our communities want. Sorry, I think I'm rambling a little bit, but that's sort of what me and Hina discussed yesterday quite briefly.
Thank you. I think that's very useful, and some of the ideas I have in my mind also. Sean, I noticed you put your hand up. Let me take, and then of course we just wrap up then.
Paul.
Is it Sean?
Paul.
Paul. Sorry, Paul.
Yeah. Councillor Robert. My name's Paul, and I'm more than happy for this committee here to kind of move and rotate around the borough. Our rooms are always open to having a meeting there, rotate it around. I think it's a good idea because then it's people get to see other parts of the borough as well. So yeah, Mitcham's always open. Just give us a call and or email me and just say, can we use your facilities for one evening or whatever? There's no problem at all.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Thanks, Paul, for coming back on that, because I think for a lot of communities, I mean, I've spent a lot of time in my ward and trying to engage with lots of the different community groups we have here, and I think, not to like accuse the council of being stuffy, but I kind of think, oh, it's a bit stuffy, I don't want to do it. Whereas if we were to say go into your centre in Mitcham or other spaces we've got across the borough, I think it is more enticing for different groups and even younger people to get there and you know, engage in these committees. But I think also if we're inviting people in to then listen to a presentation or whatever that happens to be, I think we need to have also kind of a more clear lens of what we're trying to get out of that. You know, how can we bring different groups together, you know, allow them to interact with what presentation happens, but also kind of further, you know, what is this group advancing? How are we making things move forward? Sorry, I've seen lots of hands being raised in the room. Apologies.
Thank you. Should we bring in Joanna?
Yes. I think if you want to involve young people, that would be quite interesting for them to come here and sit on the council, like something new and special. So I think it's a good idea.
Thank you.
That's true.
John, thank you.
Something special.
I hope that Paul, the Mitcham Chair, lovely work on the communities there. I hope you've got our Armed Forces Day in your diary.
They lead it.
On the 27th of June in the village.
They do.
That would be great.
I'll be there. Don't worry about
that. My suggestions are what we have today is a great working document for us. When we go out to tell other people about what we do, we need the stories to tell them what we've achieved. We know as councillors that we don't say, oh, we have a lot of meetings and we've got a plan, we won't tell you what it is, we have a plan. We say what we're going to do, we say what we have done. And I think that touch needs to be gone through here. On one document we had here on the first presentation with the hands, we did have a little case study, and it was one that wrapped up. More headway was made in a 13-minute discussion than a lot of representatives. It's a nice way of putting across what you do. And it's that kind of thing we need to talk to through and present to communities. My second thought is, and I need to think this through because I'm not an expert in this particular field, but it's usually good, as we do in the village, to mark festivals, vehicles, village, we mark Christmas and we do special things for Wimbledon to bring it, tennis in to bring it more into the village. But what about the festivals that our clients may have throughout the year? Do we do something about special ones? I know we're also good with Eid and so on, and mentioning that, but just warming it up a bit to make our stories and our case what we do.
I think that's a very good idea, and we talk about we just collecting some, information and ideas what we can do to make this JCP, community, project community more vibrant and more people can understand what the JCC is for. It's not just only to come and sit inside and talk amongst ourselves, but also to get community together.
If somebody can introduce me to somebody who knows stories, I can write things up for a little newsletter, or just so that we've got things, so that when we're talking to people, we've got things that we can illustrate, stories we can illustrate our students.
Thank you. Okay, Dean is with me for a minute. Okay, so what I think would be quite useful, our next meeting, or possibly next after this, we could have like a tea and coffee get together. It could be at the Royal British Legion, or it could be here. So people can invite friends and family, and then of course they can come together and see what we do, what we talk about. So I don't know what people think about it.
I think that's a good idea. I think also
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
the meeting constructed, it could be a workshop. It doesn't need to be a stand-up presentation from somebody. It could be done in a different way.
I'd like us to be prepped for that meeting so we can give examples of what we're doing, rather than say we're going out to the community. But say what one person we help to us. We get a lot of referrals from, and they want to be.
You may have missed what I said. Is it being recorded?
Yes, it all is. Thank you.
Okay.
I just need to grab something for council.
Yeah. So yes, if everybody, what we're saying, Dean, that we could think about it's either our next meeting or the one after. That instead of having a single meeting like this, we have like a get together where our councillors and some of the members can invite their friends and colleagues, and they can come in and we can talk about the things that we do. Councillor over there, so we could have like a case study, what we could talk about. Somebody can talk about a project that they've been doing, and let it be a bit more vibrant so people can get involved. And also we need members who can sign up to become members, so they will always get invitation to the meeting. Yeah, so sorry.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with everything everyone said. I think there's been some brilliant ideas that we've had. I want to work, which is worth acknowledging also some of the challenges that are facing minority communities, especially now. I think we know we are proud to come from a very diverse borough. I'm proud to represent an incredible ward in our borough that has amazing diversity. We're blessed to have such contributions from these communities who made massive contributions to Merton. But I think many in those communities will be quite alarmed and horrified by some of the events that we've seen nationally this week, where people of colour are being targeted because of their race or religion. And we know that there are bad faith actors in Merton who are seeking to stir up division, hatred in our community. And I think we need to be robust in calling that out and saying that hatred and racism has no place in our borough. And what steps can we take to ensure that we're taking action against those who want to stir up hatred and division and fear, and ensuring that our borough remains a welcoming, tolerant, diverse community.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have anything else to say?
Really? Oh, if you.
Yeah.
really helpful contributions. Only 1 minute because I needed to grab something urgently. And lots of that last comment overlap with the discussions that we have at the Vacancy Forum sharing this room this evening. So again, real relevance in terms of the connection between conversations that we have. Just in terms of the next steps, we do have our next meeting is on the 8th of October, and we certainly plenty of time to plan the agenda in advance of that, to take a slightly different approach to the meeting that we've had this evening, but to take on board some of those comments, bring some external people in who wouldn't normally perhaps come, and have that workshop style approach where we use it is your group, but we can certainly enable that. And
Yeah.
I've talked to Amy about the nature of that meeting, because that might be one where we have a sort of a more of a workshop style session. So it might not necessarily be one of those ones that we would live stream, but I can certainly talk to Amy about the timing and the planning for that.
Yeah. And I think I talked to everybody.
We've got Paul.
Sharon, is Sharon May? Sorry. Is Sharon May online? I can't see her name. Was she there? Do we have on Neil? Reverend Neil? Can you hear me?
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello, man. Sonia.
Hello, Reverend Neil. Do you have anything that you'd like to put forward? I know you're a very long-standing member of this community, and our new councillor would like to hear from you.
Oh, I see. I think that the ideas that I put forward are just based on the many years when, as you say, so many people used to come to JCC meetings. One of the thoughts was that we always come and seem to hear what the council is doing and nothing about what the organizations are doing. And I think what would help and bring them in is if it were to be a joint thing, so that you as a council know what the organizations are doing out there, and we also know what you're doing. So that was just one idea that I had. I obviously don't want to say too much and talk too much, but that I think would help bring in people.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's very useful. And, as you hearing what we've been saying, it's, borderline of the same thing. If anyone else want to send in before we go, Nick, you are from the council?
Nick's in my team.
Oh, you're in the team. Okay, you're here. Okay. Charlotte May, is she here? Yeah, Short Park All is.
Yes, I am here. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying I am here. Yeah, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm new, so I just want to get a feel of everything. But yeah, it's good to be involved.
I know you run a very vibrant project. Could you please explain a little bit about what you do, and it would love you to become a member of the JCC, and if how to do that, can you let us?
Yeah, so I run a community centre in Mitcham. We do a lot of activities for the very young to the very old. So we have a little learners baby club. We run holiday activities. We've got roller skating workshops because of the new roller skating park in Sherwood Park. We We do over 60s club. We do a lot of crafting. We do sewing, cooking. We do lots of different activities within our community. And yeah, it'd be good to partner with people, work together, do a bit more partnership and stuff like that. So we're very open to things like that and working with people within our community. So yeah, if anybody has any ideas, if anybody wants to use the hall for anything, please do let us know.
Mr. Chowdhury, can you hear me? Mr. Chowdhury?
Yes, I can hear you.
Other long-standing member, can you just say a few words so our new councillors can know, what you're doing?
Actually, we are a charity community. We work for the like the betterment of humanity. One of our organization we have set up as a humanity first that works like irrespective of color, creed, religion, to help all over the world. All over the world that humanity first exists, and our teams go there and help there, irrespective of religion, creed, and everything. And that's our motto: love for all, hatred for none.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Well, okay, thank you so much. We always say something which I think every one of us will be going away to think about what we have in store for the next JCC. And I do hope that, we will come up with ideas, and you all have Dean's contact details or any information you have, and whatever you want to do or say, please contact him. And if you do not have his details, then please, get in touch with me, and then I will forward it on to you. Because the next meeting, we are hoping that it will be something much different from this. We all have to join together and do something different. Okay. I just want to say thank you all and have a pleasant evening. And we come to the close of this meeting.